Hello, friends. How is everyone today? Oh, I see so many new names in chat. That's nice. What's going on? Joseph, how are you doing? And some regular names too. What's up, Matt Stagger, Erosa, String Flame, Glenn, as always, telling everyone to follow and like and subscribe. Love you, buddy. So welcome. I'm Tom. Welcome to Dragonmount. Before we get started, I have to apologize to everybody. I have toe. I have lots of toes. I have all the toes. I remember how I mentioned last week, so many toes, about interviewing Isabel Buccieri and Marcus Rutherford. Well, I've done a bunch of other interviews, which you could check out over on the Dragonmount YouTube's Shorey Agdashalu and Thomas Napper, Kay Alexander, who plays Min, Thomas Napper's director on the show, and all of them have been on Tuesdays. And I kind of made up in my head that they were doing them on Tuesdays and giving us the videos real quick so that we can edit them and get them up for like a What Wednesday release type thing. And when they sent me Isabella's and Marcus's information, I kind of glossed over the email, I guess, or my brain, my dyslexia or my ADHD changed Monday to Tuesday. And the interview was actually today. So I missed my time slot for Marcus Rutherford. And I'm so first of all, I'm so embarrassed and sad, but also I have all the toes. So I apologize. I didn't get a chance to interview Marcus, but I did get a chance to interview Isabella. So that interview should be up tomorrow or the next day. And you get to see that. She was a lot of fun. She seemed really, again, genuinely excited to be there and talk about Fail and stuff. So yeah, sad I didn't get the pair. I didn't get to collect the pair, but hopefully we get to interview. I get a chance to interview Marcus again because Perrin's like my favorite out of the boys. So yeah. All right. Now, as you can see, I'm by myself today. I have. Thanks, Glenn. I'll get to actually. Funny enough, I almost kind of did that a couple of weeks ago. I moved a little tree in front of my house, and I was doing that. It was very fun. Thanks, Arosa. You can see I'm alone today. Crystal is got the ick from being, a teacher around all the little disease factories, and she has her own as well. So we just send her all the good vibes and well wishes over on social media so that we can get her better. And because we got to record our episode 7 review for you guys for before next week's episode comes out. So yeah. Anyway. I have 2 lovely guests joining me today. First off is someone that you guys probably will recognize. He's been here before. He is a composer, producer, musical storyteller, if you remember the things that he shared with us last time he was on the show. And you may recognize him for a little ditty from this past episode. Let's see.
Tell you a tale of a lad of 20, a terror-born boy with coin aplenty, looking for love and more's a pity. Now he's lost in the hills of Tanchico City.
And here's where she notices what the hills are. Right there. Had to wait for that's my friend. Can't go without that. That's my friend. And our other guest is absolutely just, I'm thrilled to hang out with him again today. He's a legendary storyteller. I think you guys might recognize some of the properties he's worked on. Werewolf the Apocalypse, Vampire the Masquerade, Empire of the Fading Suns. He is a great storyteller, and I even am playing currently in a tabletop game of Empire of the Fading Suns, which is a ton of fun. Bill Bridges. So let's bring our friends in.
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Hey!
Hi, everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you.
we have a World of Darkness fan in the chat, apparently. It's
Good
Glenn.
deal.
Oh, yeah.
So welcome, and first of all, thank you, Nikhil, for your part in creating that fantastic song, because that song is just absolutely wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so thrilled that you all are enjoying it.
So good. I've been like since we watched the screener, I've just been like wanting to share it with everybody. When it came out on Spotify, I was so excited.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I'm posting your the link to your website in my chat right now, so make sure to go and click on the website, go to his socials, give Nikhil a follow. And Bill has some pretty big news from this week too. So Bill, not only are you a TTRPG game designer, but you also design video games too, right?
Yeah, our company, Holistic Design, back when we were designing the tabletop role-playing game for Fading Suns, we're also working on a computer strategy game version called Emperor of the Fading Suns, and it's a classic 4X strategy, very highly reviewed, and we just released an enhanced version on Steam on Friday. So you can all go up there and buy it for $9.99, I believe, and wish list it if you just want to wait till later. But if you go up and you like it, put up some reviews for us. That'd be great. But also at the same time, the Fading Suns digital books for the tabletop role-playing game are on sale through Ulysses Spiel and also at drivethrurpg.com. So you should be able to find those. They're like 25% off, I believe, for the next 3 weeks or so to help us out with that computer game release.
Nice. I got a few hours of playtime in on Emperor of the Fading Suns this weekend. The nostalgia is heavy. I haven't played in a while, and it was so much fun. I love those old school strategy games. They're a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Oh, what's up, Noman Garden? And so I know Bill through, if anyone here has been to JordanCon, which is the Wheel of Time fantasy literature themed convention that takes place in Georgia every April. So it's in like, what, 2-3 weeks now?
Yeah, it's at the end of this month.
The 21st or the 20th. It's the weekend of like the 21st, 22nd, whichever day is the weekend there.
Pull up my calendar.
But I met Bill there, and I was
25, 26, 27.
25. Okay, the 25th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had met Bill there years ago, and funny enough, another guest that was there, we were playing in a game, a tabletop RPG game of Bill's Empire of the Fading Suns. And when my friend who was DMing it was telling him about it, he's like, "Oh, I'd like to play in it." And now we're currently playing in a game of Empire of the Fading Suns with Bill, the creator of Empire of the Fading Suns, which is so much fun.
It's a lot of fun. I'm glad to be hanging out with you guys on game nights.
Oh yeah, it's been a ton of fun. Oh, here you go. Kate wants to know when you're gonna go to JordanCon, Nikhil.
Oh man, I know. I totally didn't realize this. I feel like this year has gotten away from me, and I would have loved to come this year. I don't know that it's going to be possible. Next year, definitely. I'll actually plan it out.
Okay.
I'm hoping to go to WatCon. I think it's in July, is it, or something?
WatCon is in July. Yeah.
Yeah. So
in Ohio.
Take it there, hopefully. That's
oh, okay, cool. That would be nice. Yeah, I'll be. I am not going to be able to make it to JordanCon this year.
Yeah.
But I will be at WatCon, and I'm going to try to get over to MalkirCon over in Prague again this year, because who doesn't want to go to Prague?
Yeah.
Funny enough, as we were speaking of video games, a game came out recently called Kingdom Come Deliverance, and there in the game, there's a really cool place in Prague that I went to like when I was there visiting called Sedlic Ossuary. It's a place where they store mass amounts of bones of deceased people, mostly from actually the plague times.
Thank God they're deceased.
Yeah, that would be difficult. But they decorate like the entirety, like the inside of this church with their bones, and it's very pretty. And like the monks keep it. It's a way that they were able to intern people on holy ground, a lot of them, and you can actually visit it in the game. I went there like as they're building it because the game takes place in Prague in like the 1300s or something like that.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah,
I happened upon it like this weekend when I was playing for a couple hours.
That's cool. I love games that take place in different time periods. I love storytelling that, maybe evokes a particular time period because you learn so much about the history of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The game itself is actually, like I said, it's set in Prague, and it follows a real like series of battles and things like that with actual characters from history, which is pretty cool.
Wow. Yeah.
Speaking of actual things from history, Bill's the Fading Suns setting is in a way a lot like the Wheel of Time in that it is actually like if you were to read it, it reads like if you were to read the setting like basis for it, and correct me if I'm wrong, Bill. Let me see if I get it right. It kind of reads like a mixture of Dune, Star Wars, a little bit of Game of Thrones-esque like political intrigue, and Firefly kind of gang getting together and going on adventures.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I tried to put in every single sci-fi trope and reference I grew up reading or watching and stuff as I could, and fit it into a coherent universe. And that's kind of it. You could, I mean, one of the taglines we use is Game of Thrones in space because everybody knows what Game of Thrones is.
Yeah.
You can also say it's Three Musketeers in space.
I can see that.
Anything. There's all sorts of. The idea of foundation. There was once this great, massive, high-tech empire, and it kind of fell. Now you're in the dark ages. So yeah, everything's been mixed in there. So
that sounds very familiar for Wheel of Time fans.
Yeah. It's a good trope that goes around a lot, and it's all good.
Well, it's great because like it's the same. A fun way to describe it, like for people, like especially anyone that only is vaguely aware of it. It's when you tell them it's actually like a future Earth dystopian type setting, like we're not on Earth, but it's like we're the remnants of Earth's, like the humans that are there, are the remnants of Earth's humans. Mm-hmm. Where I also like when I try to pitch Wheel of Time to people, I say the same thing. The Wheel of Time is actually a post-apocalyptic science fiction fantasy setting story.
Yeah, and I find that fascinating because again, I came only for the show. I haven't read the books except for the first one. Yeah. So I didn't know that, but there were these little hints you'd see in the flashbacks, like flying cars and stuff. I was like, wait, what's that? And then in like the episode 6 here, it's like, holy moly, this was definitely a high-tech past, and it no longer is.
Yeah.
Fascinating to see.
That's the thing that I think they're really doing so well in the show, because like a lot of times in the books, they very, very, very quickly mention, seeing a structure or a statue, or maybe something that looks like it could have been a structure or a statue buried or half buried, but when they physically show us on screen, it has so much more impact. So when we see things like what looks like could be like a suspension bridge or like a stone building or things like that, it's been really cool. I really have been enjoying that a lot.
Yeah, that's what I love about that trope as well, about as far as like the storytelling device of of some post-apocalyptic future, is it can be done in so many different ways. It's like the Wheel of Time, when you think of the series, that's not maybe the immediate go-to that you think of, probably because in the books it's alluded to rather than outright like how you see it in the show, like you were saying, Tom. But that's its own brand or flavor of that idea, which is really cool. Yeah.
Well, then I can definitely see why you enjoy the Werewolf Apocalypse and Vampire the Masquerade. fully suggest checking out Emperor of the Fading Suns, the game, but also Empire of the Fading Suns, the TTRPG.
Well, the
It is a ton of fun.
TTRPG is just Fading Suns.
Oh, it's just Fading Suns, right?
The
Okay.
Emperor part comes in for the computer strategy game.
Right.
There is also another space game, Noble
Ooh.
Armada, where you
Oh,
go
yeah.
into the barbarian sort of areas of space. That you can get on GOG.com.
Oh, GOG, yeah. You can also get the old school Wheel of Time first-person shooter that they made back in the 90s.
I actually played that. We used to do LAN and fighting each other on that game.
That's hilarious.
Offices.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It was fun because they didn't have anything really at the time. I don't even think the trading card game was out yet, so that was the only thing outside of the books that you could really interact with for Wheel of Time. But man, was that game silly. Anyone that knows Wheel of Time now, if they don't know about that game and you tell them there was a first-person shooter Wheel of Time game, it's like,
it's crazy.
what? How does that happen? How does that even work?
Yeah.
But at the time, I don't remember there being another first-person shooter using spells rather than guns, which was really interesting. Now, since then, there have been some, but
yeah.
I think that might have been the first.
It might have been before. Someone in chat, probably Knowing Garden, can correct us. I don't know if it was before Morrowind, but I feel like Morrowind is the first. I can't recall any other first-person fantasy type games before Morrowind. There probably is some, but
yeah, I don't know. Can't remember when that one came out.
I don't know either. It was a while ago. Another game I wouldn't mind them see remake. But anyway, before we get into the episode of the Wheel of Time, I want to first get ready so that everyone can queue up their thing so that they know, so that everyone's ready to go. So I'm going to get a link for our watch party here in 1 second so that everyone can join the watch party. I have to create for those who are interested, I have to create the link now. Like, I can't do it beforehand, because if I do it beforehand, it times out and gets all messed up. So that's why I kind of have to wait till now to do it. But it worked on the first try this time, so yay. All right, so I will be sharing the link in chat for everyone in chat and in our private chat so that you guys can click the link.
Would you actually be able to email it to me, Tim?
I can also do that.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
No, yeah, I remember from last time. I didn't remember from last time.
I really do need to get a webcam. I was kind of ridiculous.
Hey man, I did the same thing for the first few years when I was when I first started doing this. Was my cell phone was my webcam for for the first few years. So okay, I got the watch party is up, and also if you check out my camera, I will have. If you don't want to join the watch party or can't join the watch party for some reason, you can. Where's the timer? Silly. There it is. Boop. There we go. You could follow along on the little timer that I got down here on my screen. So I will align the clocks so that they line up so you can follow along that way. But before we jump into the episode, I have a completely off-topic question, and simply because I want to talk about this because I've been having so much fun watching it. What are you guys watching anything right now? Like, are you into anything right now?
Man, I watch so much stuff. Yeah. Daredevil. I'm watching Daredevil.
The new Daredevil Born Again has been great. I've really been enjoying it a lot. No spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but that first episode hit me kind of hard. I was a little sad.
I was a little disappointed at the ending because I don't like it when they fridge characters, which is a spoiler.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
I'm not gonna say which character, but anytime you can get Vincent D'Onofrio back as the Kingpin, boy, holy moly,
I love him.
Yeah, just amazing.
Such a good actor. And he's got such crazy range, like Private Pile, Edgar from Men in Black. This guy.
He's all over the place.
And then the kind of like autistic genius detective that he was on Law and Order Criminal Intent, I think.
Yeah, and then he was there was a serial killer in the cell where Jennifer Lopez has to go into like his dreams or whatever.
Yep. He's a freaking crazy guy. I love him.
Yeah.
What about you,
At
Nikhil?
Dragon Con last year, and he was really
that's
good.
cool.
Yeah.
I would kill to meet him. What are you watching, Nikhil?
So I've just been watching this Dexter Original Sin. Have you all ever seen
Ooh.
the Dexter series?
I used to watch the old one, but I
Did
haven't
you?
watched this new one yet. Yeah.
So I was so surprised at how good it is. I mean, I was just expecting it was kind of like, oh, maybe it's a cash grab, or, it's they've had a few false endings.
Yeah,
that's
I
fair.
heard about those ones. I'd stopped right before those false endings. I'm glad.
Right.
So,
Okay. So you saw the high point of the series.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're really trying to, right wrongs, because the casting has been incredible. It's
So
basically
good.
supposed to be like Dexter as a young kid, and kind of coming of age. And you see like some of the characters that were mainstays during the original run, the younger versions of them, and they've got their, the look, their, speaking style, their gestures, everything is just spot on. But it's not in a way that's distracting. It's actually really good storytelling too. So
Okay.
great, yeah, fun.
I'm excited because they said they were going to remake, well, not remake, but they were going to actually continue the current timeline Dexter story as well with
Right. Yeah.
the actor, I forgot his name.
Michael C. Hall.
Michael C. Hall. Yeah, he's going to come back and play Dexter.
Wow.
So that's exciting. Though, and Arosa apparently too, are watching The Pit. So Arosa said she's not. I understand. Precious time on how much we can watch.
Totally.
And the Wheel of Time really does need to take as much up as possible because I love it. And just remember, if it's possible, just let it play on your TV during the day. We need to make sure that this season 4 thing happens. So just give it as many plays as we can. But The Pit, holy crap, The Pit on Max. It's Noah Wyle, who was the main character in The Librarians. He was also in ER back in the day. He was one of the main doctors in ER.
Wow.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
Wow.
Like, this show is so good. It's kind of like, so it's a hospital drama again, Pittsburgh hospital, over the course of one 15-hour shift. That's really supposed to be a 12-hour shift, but stuff happens. And each episode is 1 hour of that shift, kind of like 24. So
That's
good,
cool.
though.
Wow.
Ensemble cast, each character, and there are a lot of new actors in it too, but each character kind of has their own little spotlight. Noah Wyle is kind of like the main character, but so good, so powerful.
That's
I've been enjoying it so much.
I only just today re-upped my Max subscription so I could watch the new season of The Last of Us coming next
Okay.
week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So I'll
excited
have
for
to
that
try
too.
The Pit now too.
Yeah, The Pit's really good. Really, really, really good. And I always keep my Max up because I like to watch. I need to occasionally dabble into The West Wing for, a brain cleanse.
Oh, nice. Can't go wrong.
Okay.
Another fantasy show.
No, but it's the writing is so good. I love the dialogue in that show. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to press play on our episode now. So if you're in the watch party, you currently should just see a paused screen, and I will press play on it in 1 second, and I'll give everyone a countdown for those who are going to follow my little timer down here. Now, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and play. So if you're in the watch party, it should automatically start playing for you. If not, just refresh the screen and it'll come up. And I fully suggest putting on the subtitles. Okay. So this episode, what was it called? The
Shadow in the Night.
Shadow in the Night. Right. Thank you. I thought on episode 4, it wasn't going to get this is some of the best television I've seen in a while. And this is definitely the best episode of the Wheel of Time show that I've seen.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. But then every week I keep saying that, every week it just gets better and better. And this week was not any different. The way that they're incorporating some of the scenes that were, I hesitate to say so for Bill's purposes as a non-book reader, and that I feel is the perfect opportunity to bring up our spoiler tag, which is to keep it at Fires of Heaven, which is book 5. A lot of the stuff that's happening in this episode is stuff from the books, but stuff from other books. So like where this season is focusing heavily on like the events of book 4, The Shadow Rising, there are some key points specifically in this episode that happen in book 2. In book 3. The Dragon Reborn, specifically at the end of the episode with the young squash maiden, the young Aiel girl. That scene is right out of book 3. It's a little bit more graphic in the book, in that he almost kind of puppets the little girl's body to try to get her to come back to life because he's a little, crazy. But it was powerful in the scene, and Yosha was just amazing. Alcera, thank you, Nomen. Oh, and for those who didn't catch it, this is how it opened. So Tanchico 95 years ago. They kind of are telling us how old Liandrin is. So Liandrin in episode 1 mentions that when this happened to her, when she was in the cell with her baby, when she was only 13 years old, she says she was 13. So 108 years old is Liandrin. Also, this is the first instance. Nikhil, you'll remember, and chat will remember too. For Bill's purposes, though, so there are 2 basically kinds of channelers in the Wheel of Time. There are those who are taught, to channel, walked through how to channel. Even ones that are born with the ability to do it inside of them and are going to channel no matter what. If they're taught, it's easier for them. Ones that have to kind of discover on their own, kind of like Liandrin has, because she's had a kind of tough life, as you can see.
Yeah, tragic backstory there.
Yeah, they're referred to as wilders, and often they develop like an ability or a weave, essentially a magical spell that is like uniquely their own, something that they do, and it seems like this Sidar or one power gun thing that she does is Liandrin's version of that.
Because there's that other characters like stealing people's memories or wiping them out. It doesn't seem that anybody else could do that, or at least is that the same case? Or
kind of. So another thing that they do, and hold on a second, I got you, Aaron. Luna is not in his normal spot, so I had to adjust. He's our executive producer. There he is.
There he is.
He's got his back to me right now though, because I was petting my other cat earlier today, so he's probably mad at me. But here, hold on, you can see. I'll just throw myself up on the screen so you can see him. There he is. He's sitting across. He's not in his bed, which is right in the front there. He's across on the other side of the desk. Anyway, the mind wipey thing. So in the books, they call that compulsion. It's viewed as evil because you're essentially taking away someone's consent, their ability to to make decisions for themselves, and it is a difficult thing to do in that if you mess it up, you kind of will scramble someone's brain.
Right.
So some people have things that they refer to as talents. So it's things that are some people are just good at naturally. And it seems like Naomi, the Black Aja sister, is just like that's her talent essentially. This is a great scene too. We get to see, hold on, this scene is dark for those who aren't watching on a 4K television, because that's apparently what you need to do for these things. But I brightened up some of these darker scenes for you guys, as you can see.
Okay.
I love Fairs as Ishamael. I'm really hoping we get to see more of him and that he comes back. Oh, it is my birthday tomorrow. Thank you, Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you, Arosa. Thank you, everybody. I'm the worst at accepting these things, but thank you. I share a birthday with Jimmy Liang, con chair of Jordan Con, and the Buddha.
Oh,
Or
you're in good
man,
company.
yeah, the man that they refer to as the Buddha, the little happy fat man. Who the Buddha is actually a title. I found out.
Yeah.
It's like what you get when you reach enlightenment. And so far, there's only been the one, and it's that guy. And he was like the historical version. The real person was born on April 8th is the accepted date for his birth. So I thought that was fun. I did that thing where it's like, what famous person was born on your birthday? And I got the Buddha. But all right. Anytime we get to see Lanthir in her silver and white makes me excited. I love this outfit for her.
The costumes in this season have been fantastic too.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Really cool.
Sharon Gillam has just killed it. Absolutely killed it this season. I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 100 more times. It'll be a crime if they don't get a Emmy nomination for at least costume, set, makeup, something like that.
Yeah.
100%.
And then we have our gorgeous, I love her. She gives like 1920s speakeasy vibes with her outfit and hair. I love it. So Bill, as a show only watcher, what do you think of the whole dynamic of like the Black Aja and this kind of subsect of the Darkfriends, like the Forces of Shadow?
Well, I mean, it seems cool. I mean, it reminds me a bit of Sith in that sense of in Star Wars, and yeah, it makes sense. There'd be a outlaw sort of group who's up to no good.
Yeah, well, they're usually there.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool seeing them and how they're infiltrating so deep into the tower.
Yeah. I got your timestamp. It's on my camera, Winter's Lady. It's a little small right now, but we're at 8 minutes and 35 seconds. The thing in the book was that they, the Aes Sedai were a little less accepting of the existence of the Black Aja.
As in, didn't believe it existed?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, refused to believe it existed. And so the White Tower is very much framed after or themed for the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So if you think of the Black Aja as like problem priests, that's kind of was their outward view on it. They just would deny that it existed.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that it could possibly exist. Obviously, with the pacing having to be a bit faster, they were a little bit more accepting of it here.
Well, one thing, because it hasn't really come to a specific head in the show, but how, if Aes Sedai can't lie, can the Black Aja break that rule? Or
so in the first episode, Siuan accuses Liandrin directly of that. She says, I know that you're actually a Darkfriend and you can lie. So this is it's a minor spoiler for within Fires of Heaven, but yes,
okay,
they can. And that's one of the fun things of going back and rereading the series. And I know we said no fire, like we can spoil things up to Fires of Heaven, but don't shout out in chat which this is, because I really like when people catch it. There's a specific Aes Sedai who lies in book 2 that's not easy to catch outright, but she lies. It is a lie, and all the information to see that is a lie is on the pages in book 2. So it's fun to try to go back and catch some of that when you reread, which is one of the really fun things about rereading the series. And since we've learned things like last time Nikhil was on, he mentioned how they used in the composure of the music and the background sounds of the show, foreshadowing with musical keys and notes. And now I've been going back and rewatching season 2 and season 3, trying to pick those out. So that's been fun.
That's awesome. Totally. Yeah.
Is there any that you can? So you shared with us last time at the end of season 2 that it was that we could hear a little bit of the Forsaken theme when when Egwene kills Rena.
That's right. Yeah. So, and the specific moments in season 2, specifically with the Egwene's collar, where you kind of hear a distorted version of her voice set to the Forsaken theme, things like that. It's almost like Egwene's theme meets the first, the Sanshan theme.
Yeah.
And in this season, I'm actually not as familiar because I mainly did like standalone pieces of music for it. So for example, the Hills of Tanchico and stuff like that.
It's a good example. It's a good
so, but that's always been a fun thing, is trying to figure out Easter eggs, musical Easter eggs that you can kind of tease. And when I was working full time on the team, I had I was the one who had read all the books, and so it was very easy to kind of send stuff to Lauren and say, hey, the next season's going to be about Shadow Rising. Why don't we start teasing some of these threads a little bit in season 2? And it's always fun when you can do that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like it's perfect for Wheel of Time. I mean, Robert Jordan was a master of foreshadowing and layering that crap in there. He loved messing with his fans. Bill, as an author yourself, is that something that you guys get a kick out of doing as much as I think you do?
Oh, absolutely. I love throwing little things in there, and you never know when people are going to catch them, and when the ones that just go by years, you go, no, they're not getting it yet.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely.
That's so great. Oh, but you know what? I just thought of it too. Not only as an author, as a game developer.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've hid Easter eggs in your games too, no?
Yeah,
right?
all the time. There's stuff in there. Sometimes it's just a sly reference to something going on today, but sometimes it's kind of some little secret about what's really going on somewhere, and a lot of people don't get them a lot of the times.
That's funny.
It was the case in White Wolf too, and also in Fading Suns. I can't remember the name of the game. The one that is referenced in Ready Player One, the very first Easter egg ever hidden in a game that they find in Ready Player One, which was really just the developer's name, like in like a blank page. If you ran into like the nothingness for long enough. Don't remember which one. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. I never read the book. Oops. I read a lot of books, honestly. I swear I do, but
I only read the book a while ago, and whoops, sorry, I don't know why that happened. There we go. I think for again, this is going to be the start of Rand's list, essentially. For those who have read the books, so Rand starts a running list in his head of women that he feels is his fault that they died.
Okay.
In the book series, that name starts with, and again, this is a spoiler for the Fires of Heaven, as we said. In the book, that list starts with Moiraine Damodred. I believe in the TV show that name is going to start. That list will start with Alcira right here of the Tar Dad Sept of the Aiel.
Interesting.
Oh God, I love Patton Fane. I love Johannes Patton Fane. Oh shit, thanks Dale. Thank you so much for the tip. Reread Watt over 6 times and I still catch foreshadow. I know, man. I still catch new things 100% too, and I've reread it countless times.
Wow.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying that just shows how layered and nuanced the story is, and
absolutely
how much he's even in the prologue of the first book. I reread that recently, and it was like, wow, it's amazing how in that prologue in the first few chapters, how much is foreshadowed that you would never know. Going through it the first time.
So I just wanted to get this shot of, it's interesting seeing the humans there with the Trollocs. That did happen in the books when you see humans with Trollocs. And the fact that the Trollocs are so well behaved really makes me that much more scared of Patton Fane.
Yeah, that's interesting.
He's just got such a creepy, like, look at it, look at that.
Got a present.
Yeah. All right. So for our book readers and for Nikhil here, and Bill too, like Bill first, I guess, before I go too far into it. What do you think of this guy? Do you think anything about him, or is he just like a throwaway character?
The fact that they spent so much attention to him means I think there's something going on with him, but I couldn't figure out what. I mean,
Okay.
Other
than, and we'll see it later in the episode, other than his amazing abs that he has, Bill, Nikhil, and I guess people in chat, let me know what you think. I think this is our Asmodean.
Oh, interesting. So you think he has a much bigger role than?
Oh yeah, I think he's the final Forsaken that we haven't met yet.
Right.
Yeah,
that would be so cool, actually. Because
Asmodean. Go ahead.
No, just saying is like there's enough has brought attention to him that you kind of feel like he has a bigger role to play in this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Asmodean is basically, I mean, technically, I guess he's you, Nikhil. Like he's a composer of music in the Age of Legends, and in the books, he's actually like he turned to the shadow because he wanted to compose music forever.
Right.
That's his reason for turning to the shadow.
It's a tempting prospect.
Yeah. He was a child prodigy who never really lived up to his expectations, though, is the other half of that.
So he sold his soul for rock and roll.
Yep, that's exactly correct. The old Crossroads kind of reference. That is exactly what Robert Jordan was going for. I kind of hope it is. Not joking. I really kind of hope it's Asmodean because this guy's good looking, and I wouldn't mind seeing more of him. But yeah, they spend a lot of time on him for just to be a throwaway character. They give him a huge amount of speaking.
Yeah, there's obviously something they're leading up to there, but.
Ooh, that would be cool if he ended up being a channeler. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. And we get our first look here at Tom Merrilin's patchwork cloak, which I love. I love that they threw that in.
They did a good job with that cloak. Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone was concerned about the patchwork cloak not being a thing, but I thought he wasn't wearing it yet. Yes, that is the actor's name who plays that hot dude with the hat that we think is Asmodean, or that I think is Asmodean. His name is Clint Gordon. I'm not trying to tell you something. I would never violate my NDAs. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm good at dissecting things I've seen from things that we're watching. Don't worry. I do not want to threaten my ability to interview actors in the show, even though I, failed miserably this morning. I thought this shot was fun too. I don't know why I'm really just enjoying like the kind of like dirty uncle relationship that Tom Merrilin kind of has with the rest of the crew in these scenes. I tried. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good. I was just going to say I tried brightening up these images as much as I could. Any more bright on these and they started getting distorted, but these are...
Yeah.
I enjoyed one thing about this, and I think this is another kind of reference, like a little tidbit that they dropped in there. Nikhil, I'm curious to see what you think about this, and Bill as well, because they actually do outright mention it in this in an upcoming scene. So we have Matt talking to this guy about the bracelet, right? Mm-hmm. Random dude who just so happens to have the bracelet. For him, we know that later. And now here we are in this bar scene with Nynaeve and Min, and I love her so much. And what? This dude just walks by who happens to have seen the Green Ajah's sister. And, she first he's like, why are you talking to me? And then she's like, oh, you're going to marry that girl. And he's like, oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I'm a little happy about that. But do you guys think that there's more at play with these things? Like, obviously, like Bill as a writer, being a Tevarin, which is like kind of twisting fate, is a great plot device to write into your own story, like a way to just be like plot device.
Now, in this case, I wasn't sure if that was just showing off Min's little prophetic thing and using it for fun and profit, but in the case of the bracelet, there's got to be something more going on there. That just seems way too easy for that guy to come up with it.
Yeah, same. Same.
Well, Matt, in a couple of minutes here, when we go back to the bar before the Hills of Tanchico, Tom mentions to Matt that he's not sure whether, he says, I'm not sure whether you're pulling at the pattern or the pattern's pulling at you, but something's going on here. So
Right.
like, I feel like that's them telling us that there's more at work here. And Moghedien is a psychopath. This actor playing Moghedien is
so well casted. Oh my gosh.
Freaking, she's terrifying and also hilarious at the same time. Like, look, what the hell?
Yeah.
Very Hannibal Lecter-y, I feel like.
Yeah. And the look that she gives too. It's just like she's looking right through you. Feels very much how I would have imagined it from the books, actually.
Absolutely.
Spitting on the food and all. It's hilarious.
Oh God, yeah. She's got to be the grossest one this whole season. She's putting her hands in people's mouths.
Yeah.
She's chewing on their linens.
Yeah, boundaries, girl, boundaries.
For real. The way that they describe Tel'aran'rhiod in this is great. And here's another thing that I noticed now that we have like a confirmation is, and we just saw it, this kind of like unmaking,
right?
And you can just see it now with Egwene, seems to be how things transition in Tel'aran'rhiod. So I kind of want to go back and rewatch all of season 2 and 1 and see if they used similar graphics for that before we knew Tel'aran'rhiod, like before we knew that they were there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh, another new name. What's up, Cutie Pie? And yeah, no, that was that. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but when she was spitting it out was just too much for me. I think that was I was like, ugh. I just got chills again.
The people she's serving it to, it's like they're asking for it too. Come on,
it's true. I don't feel bad for the black Aja.
Yeah.
Natasha O'Keefe. Gorgeous. And this scene is great for Egwene's character too. So her like the fierceness and like determination that really just kind of gets her in trouble left and right here.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully they set that timer for her. I wonder why they didn't just wake her up though. Like, did we have to wait for the bronze thing to fall?
They did seem to know what was going on there, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing that I am happy about with them going into the waste first, or the threefold land with the Aiel, is one of the themes that I really liked in the books was how much. Now I'm. And Bill, you tell me as a show only watcher, the fact that they build up the Aes Sedai so much, like these are like super powerful, magic using, political maneuvering, all knowing kind of people.
Right.
But then we see, the Aiel channelers, the sea folk channelers when they were on the ship, the women weaving the things on the ship. And we hear them say things like, yeah, the Aes Sedai don't know that we can do this. And the Aiel are like, yeah, the Aes Sedai think that entering Tel'aran'rhiod has to do with the one power, but of course it doesn't. I don't channel and I can go into, and so they kind of use these other groups as a way to kind of knock the Aes Sedai off their pedestal and kind of show that there's a little bit of an unreliable, even though they can't tell a lie outright, that they maybe don't know the whole truth themselves.
Well, yeah, it's certainly playing up this idea, and it's again similar, the analogy to the way the Jedi Order is portrayed in the prequels, in that they're really out of touch. They've been in charge for way too long. They're too overconfident. There's a lot of hubris there, and they really don't know what's going on outside the White Tower.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
This scene also, I feel like one big question was, actually, speaking of questions, Glenn, for Bill, of the games you did not work on, what's your favorite game for politics and intrigue?
Oh, gee, that's a good question. For politics and intrigue. Golly. Oh, geez.
You can take your time and think about it.
Yeah, let me think about that for a moment.
Yeah, I have it pinned so I can go back and check it. So one thing that it just started pouring rain. So if anything happens, I'm sorry.
No problem.
We get a lot of storms here in Tampa. But anyway, one thing that this scene confirms, specifically when Rand channels, because one of the big questions that a lot of people had when watching this, and I think this answers it. So I'm curious to see what you guys think. In the books, Bill, one of the big things is that characters, women can see other women, or users of Saidar, which is the half that generally women can use, can only see other women channeling. And this is the scene right here when he causes this earthquake.
Right.
And men can see other men channeling. Like they can actually see the weaving of the spells, not just the outcome. Like if a man casts a fireball, they don't just see the fireball, but they see the man creating that weave with all the little threads of magic.
Right.
Where if someone who couldn't channel, or someone who could channel only Saidar watches that, they wouldn't see anything until the fireball happened. So I feel like this scene kind of confirms for us that women, or at least users of Saidar, cannot see people using Saidin, because Moiraine has no idea what's happening until the earth starts shaking. And it seems like they're showing us Moiraine's perspective, or maybe even Lan's perspective of that scene, because at the end of the scene, we see Lan is up above them watching. And we know Moiraine can't channel Saidin, and Lan doesn't channel anything. So if we're seeing it from either of their perspectives, we wouldn't see the weaves. So
Right. Yep.
I really think that this scene kind of confirms that for us. Oh, Glenn's a little bit on a little slow tonight, but he did catch the Jedi mention.
Good.
He is the geeky hippie Jedi Sentinel. So. This is also a really fun scene. Oh well, actually, the end part of this when Maxim and Alana come down and see them. Yeah. But anyone who was questioning Marcus's bigness, look at him. He's huge. He's so big. Look at this arm.
It's not just a camera trick or something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the size of his arm and shoulder compared to her. Like, just his arm is like the size of her whole torso.
I have to say, as someone who's coming at it from the series only, not reading the books.
Yeah.
And on the last season, when he finds out he's a wolf brother, I'm thinking that's the coolest thing ever. Because, of course, I did Werewolf the Apocalypse.
Of course.
And then him spending so much time resisting it made me really annoyed with him for the longest time. It's like, how dare you, sir?
It's true. The very true, Rapunzel. Yeah, I mean, they all do that. They're all the reluctant heroes, which is like, I mean, and that is kind of like a trope and a theme. It is kind of the people that you want to be those people. Yeah, I guess. But he does start to lean in. I'm glad that one thing that I am glad about, and no shade on werewolves, but I'm glad that, because like in the first season, he kind of like activated his wolf brother powers, and it was because he wasn't fully realized yet, but like it would like happen and his eyes would turn yellow and then they would go back to being not yellow. And I was a little worried that they were going to make him like wolf out, like, and like it was going to be like a transition thing, but I'm glad that they didn't do that.
That was actually right out of, there's an old show in the 1970s called Lucan, a guy who was raised by wolves, and whenever he would kind of wolf out, his eyes would turn yellow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Nobody remembers this show but me, but it's there. I swear it existed.
Their on-screen charisma though is great. I love the two of them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We do not, and since I didn't get to talk to Marcus today, I couldn't ask him, which was one of the questions I had for him. I like I said, I have to. I will meet it. And we did learn what that meant earlier, but for Bill's purposes, the Aiel follow kind of like a code of Bushido almost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's mostly like a code of honor that they go by. And it has a lot of rules around fighting, but it's mostly not for fighting. And when you kind of if you mess up, you're supposed to like kind of like accept responsibility, and then you have shame, you have toe, you owe them like a debt essentially. So that's why. So Aiel would say I have toe when they do something wrong. So that's why I said that. I have all the toes, so many toes, all of the toes. Sorry, I couldn't resist. But
Perfectly timed.
On a more serious note, a burnt dead woman. No, I'm sorry. But that is what we have here. This scene just drives home for me that they're going to make Dane here, or Jay Duffy, like give him like a redemption arc, especially because of this one spot right here.
Yeah, I mean that thing in the background. Good Lord.
Yeah, fuck, man, powerful. They do a really good job though with balancing the humor and the seriousness. Like we go from this horror, especially with like freaking Patton Fane and Emin Valda on screen at the same time. Like these two, oh man, freaking awesome villains. I love them. Yeah. But then we jump, back to our bar.
Yep.
And we missed it though, but he just said, I don't know whether it's you pulling on the pattern or the pattern pulling on you.
Yeah.
So I really, really feel like that, they've been saying since the first episode that there were 5 Ta'veren in the Two Rivers. For anyone who's been to JordanCon over the last 10 years, we've done numerous panels on this, but I've been saying this for years. I've always thought that Egwene, Nynaeve, Moiraine, Lan, really all of the main characters at some point become and are Ta'veren for like a given amount of time and then aren't. One of the things Robert Jordan talks about is how the pattern kind of uses Ta'veren as a corrective measure, and people can become Ta'veren and
for
stop
a particular
being
purpose.
Yeah, and then stop being Ta'veren. They're not born a Ta'veren and die a Ta'veren. They could become a Ta'veren when they're in their 30s, stop being it 2 hours later, or be a Ta'veren from when they're 10 to when they die in their 80s, I'm so glad that Tom is back. Not just because we share a name.
I got a chance to meet him virtually on during the recording session for
so cool.
Hills of Tanchico, and he was just a lovely guy. And he's
Alexander
like
Willem.
Huh?
Alexander Willem, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. Him and Donald and Kira, all three of them, really awesome.
That's so good.
Yeah, it was great because Alexander had that, came in on the little refrain, Hills of Tanchico bit, midway through the song, I think, if I remember correctly, in the extended version on the soundtrack album. And he was very intense about getting his part right because, Kira has this beautiful voice and kind of powerful but beautiful. Donald has this kind of like very projected, like almost like stage play kind of voice, right? Because of his background experience. And then Alexander has more of a gritty, like rough around the edges voice. So it's like all three of them actually together complementing each other really well.
That's so awesome.
So cool.
So did for the guitar portion of this, is that you?
That was me. Yeah, I recorded that right here.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
It was pretty insane how that whole thing happened actually, because we got we had.
We're gonna take a break real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
We had a couple songs that we had to do, and Lauren was like, for Hills of Tanchico, he's like, you do it. So I'm like, awesome. All right. And then so we had to get the production needed the demos of the songs pretty fast, and so I basically had that morning to write it.
Jeez.
And I had gotten Rami Park's wonderful lyrics, and I just love the double I just love double entendres anyway. So the whole song came together, including all the arrangements and stuff that were in the demo. Actually, you hear in the final version.
So
and
awesome.
The whole thing came together in maybe 2-3 hours, and then I sent it to Lauren and I sent it to production, and then I think they got back to me with like one note, like, oh, could we bring in more percussion in the second half? And
Yeah.
that was it. And then we were off to the races. They're like, all right, great. We're going to record in a week. And it's like, wow. All right.
So amazing.
So it was a very fast-tracked experience, but it was fun. Really, really fun.
Triple entendre. Thanks. Russell.
I love that. That's great.
I can't help but think of Total Recall when she says one's not enough and three's too many.
Oh yeah. A lot of people were referencing that too. It's like,
Yeah.
what an uncanny coincidence. Could you imagine if they were actually referencing Total Recall during?
I would think that was. I mean, like, come on. I feel like Rami Park is the perfect. She's our age. She should that should be like in her repertoire of nonsense.
Totally. Yeah.
Kira actually sung this, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And she did
and a
such a good
wild
job.
hill.
You know, we took it like line by line and we kind of made sure that all the parts felt right, because especially at the very beginning when you hear her singing, it sounds a bit more timid, right? And then when she goes, the hills of Tanchico.
Yeah, right around here.
Yep.
that's right when she kind of noticed.
And that's kind of when we're like, okay, let's now make it feel, you know, kind of more bombastic and like less timid, less unsure of herself. And so, you know, those aspects of the delivery of the performance we were kind of working through during that recording session. It was just awesome. And they were all very just like super just pros, you know. And it was great because Marta was also in the studio, the director of the episode. So she could chime in with her thoughts as well, and of course Rami was there as well, and yeah, it was amazing how fast it all had to happen. Actually,
hey man, well you guys did a fantastic job, no matter how fast it was.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thanks so much.
Great,
and the costuming for these scenes was great too. I love the Tortuga feel of it.
Oh yeah, totally.
And this is what I was talking about. So wait, hold on, that's just a good face that she made. Anyway. This is kind of what I was talking about with how I think all of the characters, or at least some of them, are more Ta'veren. Like we had the guy kind of saunter up to them randomly, having seen Jane. Now we have the old man partaking of the Leandrin folklore, you know, just happens to be this guy sitting behind them to overhear them and give them that tidbit of information.
Well, having a mystic sort of force of destiny as your background helps a lot for these sort of
for
things.
sure.
Again, Star Wars uses it with the Force at times, but not as obvious as this.
Really nice to be able to, like I said, to just be able to build in a plot device that is plot device.
Yep. Very handy.
Yeah. Gorgeous bit of CG again. I'm so glad that they were able to up their budget for the channeling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Really.
It looks very cosmic.
It makes such a huge difference too.
Yeah.
And then we get our one power gun again. I liked her too. I'm a little sad we won't get her anymore, but
yeah, I did too. I thought she was an interesting little character.
Got to break a few eggs, I guess.
Yeah. Someone's got to go.
Yep. These two have been through a lot. They do some great storytelling with these two. I love the dynamic of their relationship. It seems so healthy, like, you know, even with their fight from earlier, you know, making up, and they're both admitting to, you know, their issues and talking. It's just I like seeing this. I just really like seeing it.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another thing from, and I'm curious to see what both of you think on this as a book reader and a non-book reader. So this scene specifically so these are Matt's sisters for anyone that doesn't remember. Bode and Alwyn Coffin. So them channeling here. Feelings, thoughts?
Well, I mean, again, it falls right into what you were saying with the pattern seeming. And the idea, I like the idea that, you know, she was onto something, that there's something going on in the two rivers that's more than just those characters we initially ran into. And this is a nice little sign of that, okay, this is a place of destiny. This is where something's happening.
That's a good line, a place of destiny. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel very similarly, actually. I think, like, as a book reader, I feel like some of the things that you see, kind of alluding to what we were talking about before, is that some of the stuff that you think about when a pattern, you know, weaves around a person, or, like, you know, kind of shaping their destiny, or that person shapes destiny. It is a lot more subtle, and I think this is kind of a little bit more of a forefront take on that. But for the purposes of a TV series, that is, where a season is only 8 episodes, and you really have to convey the idea more. I think books will always have more time to develop nuance like that, but I think with TV, you kind of need it to be a bit more at the forefront. So it just makes sense that it would be that way.
That's fair.
If it's not on the screen, it doesn't exist, except in the book, though, obviously. And you can put in all sorts of things that are on the screen.
Yeah,
exactly. The thing that I specifically, the thing that sold me on the two of them doing performing this, specifically healing, because in the books, healing it's not like super powerful, but it's not an easy thing to do. Not every Aes Sedai can do it. Not everyone's good at it. But I feel like the idea of 2 young girls that come from an abusive household, that probably take care of their parents more than their parents take care of them, them having this healing ability or this desire to fix things kind of makes sense. Also, their mom was not playing, but she took the role of Village Wisdom after Nynaeve left. It seems like, we don't know that for sure, but it seems like that's what they did based on Nynaeve's visions that she had.
Well, also helped that she was talking them through it too. Yeah.
Alana's a good teacher. We saw that from episode 1 of season 2 when she was teaching them. She might be better at sex ed than she is at 1 power, but she's still a pretty good teacher. Rapunzel, those are the only kind of points I make, Rapunzel. It's a lie. It's a bold-faced lie. I just love the two of them. I love how they joke and are like laugh and stuff mid-battle. Maxim and Alana, that is. This is great. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I feel like this is an episode of contrasts in so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's what makes the episode so compelling in general, is because, you're going to have probably, I would imagine, because I haven't seen the other 2, the last 2 episodes of the season, but you're going to have kind of this heightened aspect of it. The story arc is going to probably heighten for those last 2 episodes. There was been dark moments throughout the season, but for there to be contrasted against that levity, it kind of brings to, I feel like it kind of brings some of the in-world aspects that Robert Jordan, his kind of characteristic flair to it on the screen, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. They did release a clip, but they didn't put it on their press website because they're silly pantses. But they released a clip of next week's episode and the title name, which is Golden Eyes. So I think we can infer what may be happening on our next episode. But yeah, I love this scene. This was hilarious. They, again, balancing a good bit of comedy after, a scene that's kind of rough. And then previous to the scene was Leandrin killing, and then right to, happiness, healing Alana, a little bit of comedy between the two of them afterwards. A love scene here with a little bit of comedy in it. Like the tonal shifts back and forth have just been really awesome. And then obviously back to Hills of Tanchico again. Freaking Kay.
When one's not enough, right?
Oh yeah. Well, none is enough. So many. I want all. Kay has some fantastic faces in these scenes too. Like this is her on the streets, but her and Zoe are having a good time. But when she gets to the bar, but the best one, that's good. But no, it's this one right here.
Yeah, right.
This is so great. So great.
I so wish I could have been a fly on the wall during the filming of this. Oh my gosh.
Oh, they look like they're having so much fun. I can only imagine. Oh God. One tidbit that I'll share from my interview with Isabel, but you got to go watch it when we post it for the rest.
Yeah.
is that she talked about how funny Marcus is and how much fun they have on the set. So I can only imagine what filming this was like, if if the overall feeling is like comfortableness to be, in between scenes and even in scenes kind of joke around and be informal. I can only imagine what filming this was like.
Yep. Totally.
And there's our hot dude again. Look at those look at this. One other thing I wanted to point out is it looks like he's got some kind of crazy tattoo going on under there.
Yeah.
And also, not the no, you can't see it in this one, but you can kind of see it here. His fingernails seem to be gold. Like they look like they're painted, and you can see it better in a couple of the other scenes. I kept zooming in on his hands to see if he was wearing that Forsaken kind of ring that they all wear, to see if he was, overtly Asmodean. But here you can kind of see it here. His fingernails seem to be gold.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. There's just a lot of effort into this character that to just be this one dude, I feel like.
Yeah, he's got to come back somehow.
Oh, what's up, Thatcher? No worries, man. Thatcher is a student of actually a former guest of our show and another good friend from JordanCon, Sargon Donabed. Professor Donabed, as Thatcher knows him, and I was actually talking to him this very afternoon on the phone.
No way.
Very cool.
Small world.
Yeah. Oh God, freaking! Look at the faces that she makes while she's doing this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's such a creeper. Oh God! Look at her. It's like she's imitating her screaming when she's doing it. So creepy.
I say the Black Ajah are pretty disposable.
Yeah. The Forsaken puts such low stock in anyone from this time. It seems like.
In some ways, like this performance, I feel like is even more terrifying than the books. You know? Like
absolutely
the books. Yeah.
The thing that really sold me on Mo Gideon, honestly, was her introduction. I thought that they did such a good job. Like, and Bill, you tell me on this. Like, I always try to look at it as someone who's not read the books and is just watching the show. Like, I try to see it in that vein. When they introduced Mo Gideon at the end of season 2, after showing Lanfear, right, and all the things with Lanfear, she's popping people's heads off, she's stitching people's mouths closed, she came back from the dead, she's standing toe to toe with Ishamael, she declares herself like the Queen of Tel'aran'rhiod, she blows apart Kyrian, and she's scared of Mo Gideon. Like, I felt like that was such a powerful thing for them to do.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing, is she's such a mousy looking, person. You're thinking, well, that means she's really dangerous, because, no one who looks like that would spark fear in anybody unless they really knew what she was up to and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Mo Gideon, and I think one of you guys said it before too. I was saying it when I was doing the pre-recording review for this episode. Mo Gideon is like Batman. She, if you give her enough prep time, she's taking anybody down. She's not as raw, like she doesn't have as much raw power in the One Power. And Bill, so this is how I think of the One Power. And Nikhil, you tell me what you think of this, and chat, tell me what you think of this. This is how I explain the One Power to people. Essentially, anyone who can channel the One Power, doesn't matter what it is like a cup. And because they kind of pull the power into them, whether it's, women letting it flow into them or men fighting it and pulling it into them, the power flows into them like water, and everyone's cup is a different size. And that's basically how strong you are in the One Power. If you overflow your cup, you can kill yourself or burn yourself out. Like, that's dangerous. And that's pretty much it.
It's a great way to.
Mogi-
Yeah.
I figured that's the simplest way to put it. Like I spent a lot of time trying to recruit people to our cult. I mean, club. Mogideon's cup isn't the biggest amongst the Forsaken. In fact, it's not anywhere near the biggest. Like she's in the bottom tier of the Forsaken, but she seems to be very skilled. She has a lot of talent, which is kind of like Batman in a sense also, where he doesn't have any superpowers, but
Cunning.
got a lot of, cleverness and cunning. Yeah.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'll take it, Dale. I mean, if like, I know what you're trying to say, but I'll take it.
Like I say, this is the kind of scene that in a role-playing game, when what's one of your characters who's being charmed and controlled this way, boy, do you hate it.
Oh God, yeah.
But that NPC comes along and you're just like, no, I failed my rolls and now I gotta do.
Especially because it's like you're only level like for the purposes of this, it's like they're only level 3 and she's level 14.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, the look on Zoe's face in these scenes is great.
Yeah,
specifically for that purpose. Like you see it a little bit here. Like you can see kind of her eyes are strained a little.
Yep.
She does a really good job with that. I feel like you could see the creaseness and the strain in her eyes. But then in about 2 seconds, she starts to really resist. And in the books, Nynaeve, the character of Nynaeve and Mogideon have a little bit of a thing, for lack of a better terms, and to just beat a dead horse on this reference. Nynaeve is Mogideon's Joker.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, she is essentially her arch nemesis in the books, and it's because of things like this. Nynaeve, this ignorant child from this, pond scum level of society, is able to, go toe to toe with her in the One Power, and she does not like that at all.
Right.
This scene is really creeps me out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The other thing in this scene that is really telling is specifically about Mogideon's character, and it's her failure. And I feel like in the books, it is like, obviously the villains, not to paint with a broad brush, but most of the villains are kind of crazy, and they're they have some sort of mental issue, whether it's completely earned by, like, in like the case of Leandrin with her horrible past and being manipulated at a young age by a Forsaken, or the Forsaken where it's like they kind of chose to be evil. She's definitely is like psychotic, and really I feel like if she didn't cut Nynaeve's face, Nynaeve may never have figured out if this was
totally
yeah.
But it's really the cut that pushes her over the edge to make her realize that something was up here.
And that's what made me wonder, did she do that on purpose to kind of scare them? But later they realized, oh God, someone was screwing with us.
To me, the way, because what she says when she does it, where it was like, and you, like she goes back to her and references her resisting her again, and that she's like singling her out. I felt like it's the beginning of that kind of animosity specifically toward Nynaeve.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And there she is noticing the cut.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. Now I need Muldoon. Why do I remember his name? Why do I remember the guy's name from Jurassic Park? That says clever girl.
Yep.
It's Muldoon, though. Robert Muldoon.
I only remember it because I've seen it on X or Blue Sky or something, just because of that reference.
Another fun character. Whatever. That actor was pretty cool too in that part. I don't never if he does anything ever again. I don't remember him.
Yeah, can't recall myself.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then we go from, again, we're back in, like, we got comedy, a little bit of, I don't want to say levity in this scene, but it seems playful in nature, but with that really strong overtone of like creeper horrible vibes
Yeah.
right into more devastation. They do end on a low note in this episode.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Not low as in poor, like done, like just sad.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time coming, really.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. The thing that I felt in this scene that I think Madeline Madden did very well was the feeling that I got here, specifically in this dialogue that she's giving right now. She says, you know, you were dishonest with me, you know, she kind of lists the "you cheated on me" thing last. She's more upset that he was dishonest with her, that it was with a Forsaken. You know, the implication of him kind of going to the shadow is in there. I think it's in this moment while she's letting these emotions out that she kind of realizes that maybe she doesn't have this romantic love for Rand as much as she thought she did.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's interesting to see how that has evolved compared to the books too.
Yeah. They've done wonders, like, and I hesitate to say that they've done better, but I think they've done wonders for a lot of the relationships, like romantic relationships in this show, and for the villains of the show, like the drive of the villains and the backstory of the villains specifically.
100%. Yeah.
And Madeline just does some phenomenal acting. Obviously, she was great in season 2. All the stuff that she had to go through and do with her character in season 2, and now, you know, she's starting to come into her own as like a full character. They did obviously kind of like mature up all of the characters because they aged them all up from the books.
Yeah.
In the books, Bill, Egwene starts out, she's 16.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Rand is 17, 18. So like, you know, in here, they're in their mid 20s, which, you know, honestly, in my opinion is better. Like, I don't want to watch a show about kids running around.
Yeah. Once you're in the teens, you're into the, you know, young adult territory of books. And
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It takes on a different tenor.
Yeah. And also, you know, like obviously with all of the adult content in this, we don't need children being
I think that's
present for that. Yeah. Such a good actor though, these two. I'm so excited to see what they continue doing, especially Yosha. Like he's had some crazy range this season. He played in episode 4, he played 15 and a half, I say at least, different characters. You know, different versions of Rand, different versions of his ancestors. Like some of them, you know, he gave full voice and, you know, acting to. Some were just there for a split second, but oh God, I thought Donal Matt was killing it this season, but Yosha stole it.
Yeah.
Listen, Rapunzel, I fully attest that the Rand that comes out of Ruidian is a different Rand that went into Ruidian. Okay. 15. He has the tattoos. He's the Kar Karn. He's a little bit more accepting of his responsibility. He grew as a character. Different Rand. Absolutely. And here comes our Shido Aiel and Samael. Freaking awesome channeling bit here too. I love this bit of channeling here. Hold on. I got a little, I cut together this so that we could see her channeling these spears of fire because they were freaking awesome.
Yep.
Very awesome.
I loved this. The Samael's weapon too, that the way he does this, like I always try to picture the front lines of like combat and like warfare of the One Power. Samael obviously, based on his costume, is like a general, a war general. Kind of looks like Napoleon Bonaparte a little bit.
Yeah.
But like seeing him with this like hammer of the one power, especially like I had to freeze frame some of them, but
That's a really cool shot there.
Oh yeah.
And then this shot that we just had.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this one's cool. I just like the way this looks a lot.
Yeah.
But Rand, with the lightning here, which is very reminiscent of the scene in Tyr, and we're gonna get more of that in a second. And look at his face too as he's doing this.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah.
Shadowed, veiled. He's not facing it. So like it's almost like it doesn't matter to him what he's doing. Samael's not having a good day back there.
No, did not expect that.
I love it. Oh, so good. I love the channeling so much. And now this is the scene, Bill, that I was mentioning earlier. Oh yeah, that's a good question. You know what? Let me see if I can get a poll going. Is Samael dead? What do you guys think?
I'm not quite sure myself. I feel like it's very possible, especially given the kind of design of the Wheel of Time, that we may see him again. I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine we won't see him again. That actor and everything. It's just seems to take it. I mean, he might be like pretty screwed up when we see him, but
Yeah. What do you think, Tom?
Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time.
Oh yeah.
There we go. I got the poll up in chat, so we'll see what everyone in chat thinks is if Samael is dead. I will say WAFO, which is watch and find out. So this is the scene though, specifically with him trying to resurrect her.
Yeah.
That was right out of book 3. Like, look at this, so powerful. Egwene is a little worried.
more than a little.
Yeah.
He's going nuts here.
Yeah. And there it is. This is where he breaks a little bit, I feel like.
We've got that Joker face there.
Yep. This really sold me on him. Like, I would be like, I could see him playing the Joker a little bit. Look at oh God, he's doing crazy so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, I love the way they're doing with the channeling and mixing in the taint and everything too.
Here comes Moraine, late to the dinner as always.
As always. Also cleaning up the mess. I thought this was poignant. She puts her hand on his shoulder. It's the hand with the ring.
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of visual storytelling for, for us. Oh, God. That little actor was good too, man. She's really good. And yep, so there's our shot of our man. Is he dead? You know, it's hard to kill Forsaken.
Yep.
And then here we are. So this is great. Also, fun fact. This is Raga, who plays Bane. She is 6'2", and this is Maya, who plays Chiad. She is like 5'10", and then Isabel, who's like 5'5" or 5'6". So they put her up on a box. All right. So the episode ended. So if you're in the watch party, it may keep playing for you, even though I shut the watch party off. So if you want to keep watching, go ahead, but don't shut off our stream because we're still going to be hanging out here. Let me get rid of our clock because that is no longer pertinent. But the other thing I just want to show before we get into it is it seems like, so we've seen them use the Waygate now 2 different times in the show.
Yep.
And it's either with like when the one power is used, it kind of looks like a portal, like a magical portal.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they use that trefoil leaf, we see the doors and it looks like they have a trefoil leaf.
Yeah.
Because we could see a door here.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of Trollocs just marching out of the gates, which is not going to be good for our boy. Though she looks like she's resolved. She's definitely resolved for this. She's ready to go.
Yeah.
I love the Aiel.
Probably wants to fight.
Yeah. Like I said, I think we can infer what might be the episode for next week based on, like I said, the title, which is Golden Eyes, and the obvious setup here. Also, for people who watched Game of Thrones, the second to last episode of the season was always, and it has actually a shtick in most TV shows. The penultimate episode, the second to last episode, is usually the really big episode, and then the last episode is usually like the hook or the tone set for next season. So this episode was so good, though. Every episode is just better and better.
Yep.
I have very little notes on this.
Yeah. Yes.
The red coronation. Yeah. That is definitely a fair comparison there. Also, for, Nikhil for Hills of Tanchico. So Sarah Nakamura, who is the book kind of fan liaison that or consultant that works on the show.
Right.
One of the things that she said, she like in the beginning when they were like pitching ideas, like things that we want to see in the show. One of the things that she wrote was, and she said this on Twitter. I want to see, the cast of characters or some of the characters standing up on bars and tabletops singing a bawdy song.
Got it.
And
I'm so glad she mentioned that too, because I feel like that's one thing about it's. I always feel like it's an interesting balance to try to strike, because especially modern fantasy TV kind of errs on the darker side. There were all these aspects of like kind of the haughtiness and the kind of a little bit of the just kind of that acerbic wit humor that you would see in Robert Jordan's writing, and also that kind of precipice of classic and modern fantasy. And so to kind of bring some of that in, I'm just so glad that they did more of that this season. It really does make the darker parts feel darker, actually. And then it also provides a little relief, and it's also, it kind of feels a little bit more in-world, I think. Rather than it being a telling of the Wheel of Time, it's like this would have been in, you feel almost like you're more immersed, I think, in the world when you get a chance to see, like, Tom playing, like, just in the background, like before even Hills of Tanchico begins, the grave is no bar to my call. Like, he's just like, but you feel like you're it's an atmosphere you're kind of getting into. You can almost kind of tell with your senses what this place feels like. Yeah. And so it was really, it was just a wonderful experience. And like when I got those lyrics, I basically, the only note that I got was like, could you have sea shanty kind of music? And could you please also use Malaysian instruments and like East African instruments and stuff like that? And like, I'm like, sure, what could go wrong? And so it was very much, because that's one thing I love about Robert Jordan's writing, actually, is he always had a very confluence of cultural aspects of his different areas. And you didn't necessarily delineate where one culture ended and the other began, if that makes sense, in the mashups that he would have. And so, or influences for these cultures. And so it was kind of like, okay, what if we had the central melody feel almost like this body bar song that people could sing, but then the instrumentation, if you listen very closely, you'll hear some kind of Malaysian plucked instruments, and the percussion was like a lot of African percussion was in there, hand drums and stuff. And so, you can figure out ways of kind of supporting that central melodic idea, but then all these other things are just in the background to kind of enhance the flavor, I guess you could say. So
Yeah.
but
And
yeah,
that's
quite fun. Yeah.
too, because you like one of your shticks is, and we talked about it last time, is you like to kind of subvert expectations with your instrument choices in music, where you would normally hear, or a Western audience is expecting to hear X instrument. You like to substitute with other I hesitate to say non-traditional, but like
Yeah, yeah.
non-traditional Western instruments.
100%. And even within the context of like the instrument, let's say it's a non-traditional instrument, one can also take that and have it played non-traditionally. It's like if you're writing for, let's say, a Malaysian plucked instrument from a Western person's perspective, you're not going to write it to the player. So ultimately, you're going to be writing it differently. And these instruments have been played the same for hundreds or even thousands of years. So you just imagine you're opening up a whole universe of sound that has never really been
so cool,
or even an approach that has never been tried on that instrument.
Yeah.
And so the wrong idea can sometimes be the right choice,
That's fair.
So
I'm Bill, how about you? I'm not musically inclined at all. Like I played the clarinet in
Right.
elementary school, and I couldn't read music at all. So the nuns failed me out of that real quick. But are you musically inclined at all?
No. I tried to learn guitar once, but my fingers wouldn't do the proper fretting and stuff. I just couldn't get it right.
Yeah.
So no.
that's
Love
a
music,
hard thing to
but
do when you're
can't play
starting
it.
on guitar too, because you get all the like your fingers get all calloused up and stuff. And
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of pop up in chat a few times. Do you have like a pipe dream longer version of Hills of Tanchico floating around in your brain somewhere? And can we see it ever? You don't have to answer it, but it's just really just to frame how much we love the song. But
oh, thanks, you guys. I'm so thrilled that you all like it. And honestly, I kind of wish Rami had written more verses to the song, because I would have loved to write more music to it. I think he could have used a cool like bridge in the middle section or something. Maybe even some like colloquial language or something could be really cool, and then bring it back to English. Like I could see a world where that would be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Robert Jordan, though, he liked to leave a lot for the imagination. He always talked about, because one of the things that he would always get asked in interviews a lot was, you have this huge story with all these characters and all these storylines. Do you plan on wrapping everything up? And he always said no. Like his answer was always no. One, he likes people questioning it and wondering what happens. He likes people talking about it, but it's also great for marketing. If you answer everything, they don't need to read it anymore.
Fair. That's
so
a good point. Yeah.
Leaving it open-ended, I feel like that is, obviously we would love to hear more, but like, now we have I don't know, I know Nikhil, we talked about it before. I don't know how if you're aware of this, Bill, but one of the things that the Wheel of Time fandom does every year is we call it What Idol.
Right. Yeah.
Where it's mostly, actually, I'm pretty sure it's all parody songs of like real songs, but Wheel of Time versions of them.
Sure.
Yeah. So last year, we actually, I had a guest on a few of the guests I've had on the show have done What Idol parodies, but we had someone who did. Here's just a short clip of one of the parodies. So they're saying "to ho 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 ho." It's all the single ladies, all the single maidens.
That
like
is amazing.
Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping for like I'm wondering. Well, I hoping we're gonna get. I feel like it's almost guaranteed we're gonna get some sort of rendition of Hills of Tanchico this year. But I'm excited to see that.
Oh, that would be so awesome.
I am fully expecting at JordanCon some people will be breaking into that song.
Oh yeah, it will definitely be sung on karaoke night for sure.
I need to see video of that for sure.
Oh, I promise. Yeah. If it gets sung, I will try to get somebody. Crystal is going to be there. Kathy, the CEO of Dragonmount, will be there. I have a ton of friends there. I'm sure people will record it. If it gets sung, I will try to get it. I will try to make sure I get it to you as quickly as possible.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. And if anyone in chat, if you are at JordanCon and you do record it, post it on Twitter or something and Nikhil or Instagram or any of the socials, which you can find links to all of their socials in the description of the video. So make sure to go give Bill and Nikhil some love, please.
Oh, there was that question someone asked me.
Oh,
earlier.
yes, Glenn. Yes, I have it saved. Let's grab it up. Question for Bill. Of the games that you have not worked on, that you did not work on, do you have a favorite game that is good for politics and intrigue?
Now, I'm going to cheat on this.
Okay.
Because my company, Holistic Design, we did Fading Suns, also did Machiavelli the Prince, which actually was originally titled Merchant Prince, where you are a merchant prince in Renaissance Italy. It's a strategy game, so you're trying to become the best merchant prince. And among the things you can do to kind of screw over your rivals is to put plague rats onto their ships, things like that. So there's all sorts of fun stuff. And I did not directly work on it because I joined Holistic Design after the original game, Merchant Prince, had been done. We then later relaunched it as a Machiavelli the Prince with a bigger company. But I have played it, but I did not work on it. So I get to say that because it's all about politics and intrigue and, Machiavellian schemes.
That's fair. I posted the link to the GOG for Machiavelli the Prince also if people want to check it out.
There you go.
There's actually really, so for our D&D fans, there's a game called Waterdeep. Oh shit, what's it called? Something of Waterdeep. Waterdeep.
Is Waterdeep a setting or is it?
Waterdeep is a city.
Yeah, it's in Forgotten Realms, I think.
Lords of Waterdeep. That's it. That's
Lords of Waterdeep.
So it's a board game that where you take the role of a Lord of Waterdeep. So you are the quest giver essentially in the setting of D&D, and it's a worker placement / resource management game, but the resources that you're managing are the adventurers. So you'll have a quest that you want to send adventurers on, but it'll be like, for this quest you need 6 paladins, 5 warriors, a rogue, and 2 priests. So you have to go to the taverns and different locations around Waterdeep and recruit those adventurers to send them out on your quest.
Right.
And one of the things you can do is screw with the other Lords of Waterdeep. You can, give them mandatory quests in the form of like riots, and you could tag things onto their quests that like are foiling their quest, or add another step to their quest, like goblins attack or something like that.
That actually reminds me, there was a game, I cannot remember the name of it, where you were basically the Dark Lord owning the dungeon, and the adventurers would be coming into your dungeon to try to steal your stuff. And so you're managing all the monsters in your dungeon to go after them, and your traps and all that stuff. So
that's fun.
It's the reverse of the normal D&D experience.
Yeah. There's a game like that called Boss Monster. It's a board game, but it's you play it like a side-scrolling, like old school, like Nintendo, Super Nintendo game, where it seems like you're side-scrolling, and as you go, you're building your dungeon. You are the boss monster, and you're building your dungeon for the adventurers to come in and die, which is also a lot of fun. I'm a huge board gamer. I love board games. Yes, Light Blinded Fool. Nikhil does know about What Idol.
Mm-hmm.
And I already asked him, so I win. Well, that's all I'll say for now, because we got to see if I can do it first, but we'll see. There may be fun announcements in the future for that. So okay, one of the things that we usually do at the end of our episodes is announce our guest for next week's episode. So this, I feel like, is a great opportune time to do that right now. We are going to have Jordan Ranels, who is the creator of the Soundscape of Time. So if anyone has paid attention to really the Wheel of Time kind of like fandom news algorithm or running, stuff that's been in the running for a while, Jordan did, and we had a show for it when he did his Kickstarter for his the first book 1 for the Soundscapes. It was awesome. So basically, for Bill and Nikhil's purposes, I have a clip that didn't want to load, so I'm going to just talk for a second while I get it again. He's basically like, in the scenes in the book where it would be like, Rand is walking, through the forest and his boots are crunching in the dirt, he has like the sound of boots crunching in the dirt, like in the background, or if they're in a and you can kind of hear talking and cups clinking.
The Foley sounds and stuff.
Yeah. And they've been a ton of fun to listen to and help with. And he gave me a clip, so let's see if I can get it.
Cool.
I can get it in here. So StreamYard has a space for audio, but not, for video, but not audio. So I'm gonna do a quick workaround here. So I'm gonna mute us, or I'm gonna mute you guys, because you guys will hear yourselves echoing back in if I do this. So I'm gonna mute you guys for a second, and then I'm going to share my screen again, so that I can share also my sound. And we'll just share this image of Fail from the end of the episode, but I'm going to play the sound that Jordan sent me. It's a little 45-second clip.
The wheel of time turns, and ages come and pass, leaving memories that become legend. Legend fades to myth, and even myth is long forgotten when the age that gave it birth comes again. In one age, called the Third Age by some, an age yet to come, an age long past, a wind rose in the mountains of mist. The wind was not the beginning. There are neither beginnings nor endings to the turning of the wheel of time. But it was a beginning.
Okay. So before I there we go. Okay. Before I unmuted you guys, I didn't you guys echoing on each other. So, but it's safe now. You talk. But that is a sample of the next Kickstarter that he's working on, which we will be announcing the launch of when he comes and hangs out with us next week to do the show. So that's gonna be fun.
Looking forward to checking that out. That's awesome.
Yeah. He's so obviously that was the Rosamund Pike recording. So Bill, the original audiobook people were Kate Redding and Michael Kramer, wonderful audiobook narrators, fantastic. Amazon obviously, or Sony probably more likely, taking advantage of the thing. They're re-recording, doing new audiobooks with Rosamund Pike. I'm absolutely loving them. For those who have read and reread the series, it's like a whole nother take, because she's got her own inflections and her own voices, and it's so much fun to read. To listen to. Jordan is going to be releasing a companion soundscape for both versions, for the Rosamund Pike version and for the Michael Kramer and Kate Redding version. Yeah, so
nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, damn, thank you for the tip, Light Blinded Fool. And so he said he just wanted to say thank you for the Hills of Tanchico, which is living rent-free in his brain. It's a very good song, and to thank Nikhil, obviously. So good. It's so good. I'm so happy with this season of Wheel of Time for so many reasons, but that song was just so good.
It really warms my heart. It's like Tom, I met you 6 years ago. It must have been like around 2019 when I first did that orchestra piece, and it's like, it really does feel like it's come full circle, to use the
it's funny because two things the circle, obviously the the Wheel of Time, I have a similar story with me coming into the Wheel of Time fandom. Like here I am doing that, again, just started with being interested in the Wheel of Time, and the same as with you. You just put yourself out there, like, here I want to do this, and here's my thing, and now here you are, and here we all are, and it's just so great. I love it. All right, so the other thing that we do at the end of our episodes is a little bit of an homage to Inside the Actor Studio, which is one of my favorite shows that I used to watch, which I'll take this opportunity to again mention. If anyone goes to a thrift store and happens to find, I don't even care if it's the DVD, I don't care if it's the VHSs of Inside the Actor Studio, send me a message and let me know, because they are incredibly hard to find, and They charge like $6 per episode or $8 per episode on Amazon, and I don't want to pay that. So if anyone sees Inside the Actor Studio at like a thrift store or something, hit me up and I will totally send you money and like some Wheel of Time swag or something. Just taking this opportunity to, to say that. And I'm not going to forget the poll this time. So before we do our interview, let's end the poll. And let's see, it looks like 68% of the people said no, they think Samael is alive. And 31% said yes, they think he is dead. So we'll see who is right in the coming episodes. But first, I'm going to, and this time for those who were here last week, I remembered to include the sound with my clip, and I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it myself while the video is playing like I did last week. Hello, Bill.
Hey.
Welcome to the Dragonmount studio. Like I said, this is an homage to Inside the Actor Studio. We took, I'll totally admit, blatantly just stole like 4 or 5 of the questions because they're pretty simple. And then the rest we kind of put our own little fun, nerdy spin on. And I fully give all the props to James Lipton, who was the host of Inside the Actor Studio. I loved watching him.
Yeah, it was good.
And if anyone's curious, hasn't seen it, I fully suggest Googling it and watching any of the Robin Williams episodes. They're absolutely wonderful. Okay. Now I like to start off pretty hard hitting here. This is like a tradition now with, we started it with Rafe. What is your favorite dinosaur?
Oh man, this is always the toughest question, right? 'Cause you got to go one. Come on, it's all
I know.
But Ankylosaurus.
Okay.
Got that mace on the tail.
Oh yeah, armored too.
Yep.
Stout little guy too. Yeah, no.
It used to be Triceratops, but they've gotten too cutesy thanks to like Land Before Time and all that stuff. So
you don't like Sarah? Oh, fun fact! A discovery recently is put quills on the Triceratops. Sarah and Triceratops.
Really, quills on that too.
Quills.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
That they had quills. So a lot of the images of Triceratops, you see like those spots on their back.
Yeah.
They found evidence that they had quills, which I think is pretty cool.
I might have to say they're my favorite.
What up, Jedi John?
Very cool.
Okay, so next up, what is your favorite word?
Transmogrify.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah. Calvin likes it too, of Calvin and Hobbes. He's got a transmogrifier ray.
That's great. Oh, I haven't thought about Calvin and Hobbes in forever. You're just full of nostalgia this week with the Emperor of the Fading Suns game. And,
I know.
And Calvin and Hobbes, yeah. I love the art. The art was great.
That's a Brahm piece, actually.
Ooh, that's cool.
Yep.
The coloring is great.
And actually, I'll give you a little cheat on that one. You'll see the flag he has is the Imperial flag. That's the second version he did. The first one he did was with the Hawkwood symbol, because House Hawkwood in the tabletop role-playing game is who won and became emperor. But as the producer of the game pointed out, well, yeah, but the point of the game is anybody could. So he went back and put in the Imperial one over the Lion of the Hawkwoods.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So it's like another turning of the wheel almost.
Yeah,
one could say. Do you have a least favorite word?
These days, it is content.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I get that for sure.
Yep.
Okay, and do you have a favorite curse word and or fantasy or science fiction replacement curse word?
I hate to think about this one. I'm going to go with Feldercarb.
Ooh, what's that one from?
Galactica.
Oh shit, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, it's kind of what they mean. I don't know if I can curse here, kids.
Yeah, you can.
Cover your ears. It's what they mean for shit, basically. That's bullshit. Feldercarb.
God, I love it. It's so much fun. And Battlestar was great. Both versions of Battlestar was great.
Yeah.
I don't have a favorite, but I love Adama in the newer one.
Yes.
And Katie Sackhoff is great.
Yep.
Okay. Is there an everyday sound that you love?
A cat purring.
Yes. I'm currently, right now with our friends that are still refugees from the hurricane, we are at 4 humans and 9 cats.
No, go.
So I am never at a short, I am never short of cats anywhere I go, and they all are cuddly, except for one. He does not like to cuddle with anybody. Even my 2 friends who are his owners, he's not a cuddler.
Okay.
But there's never one far out of reach to cuddle with and purr.
That's nice.
Yeah. And is there an everyday sound that you don't like?
Yeah, it's not every day for everybody, but in my neighborhood, it's practically become that, and I hate it. It's a leaf blower.
Okay. I definitely can see that, especially if you're in there writing and like there's just outside the whole time.
Or if it's in the morning, you want to sit on the porch with your coffee and then.
As someone who used to have to carry those around sometimes, I get it. I used to do construction, and they would just when we didn't have time to work, like we ran out of material, or they would have to shut our job down, they would give us to the other crews that worked for my department, and sometimes they would put me on the landscaping crew when I first started. Miserable. Okay, so now these next questions, except for the first 2, are basically any fantasy property. It doesn't have to be Wheel of Time, except for the first 2 questions. It could be a book, a movie, a video game, comic book, TV show, whatever you want. Mm-hmm. But for the first 2, what Wheel of Time TV show character do you think would make a good roommate?
Make a good roommate would be loyal. He'd be very considerate.
Yeah.
And unlike some of these other types, he doesn't look to be the type to keep secrets from his friends. So,
absolutely. And he's always got a good book on hand. And do you think there's one that would make a bad roommate?
Frankly, it'd be Rand, because you're always going to worry about him.
That's fair.
Earthquakes, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Are we a term from the books, from people who have read the books, is emo Rand, or angsty Rand, as people refer to him as we go through the series. And yeah, if you had that version of him, it would not be. You'd never know when you're coming home, like, oh, is he going to be miserable tonight again? I could totally see that.
Yep.
All right. So, have you ever had a crush on a fictional character, or can you remember like your first crush on a fictional character?
Is it fiction book-wise, or is it from
anything you want, like a cartoon, a TV show?
Well, again, I'm kind of old, guys, but
that's okay.
It would have been Jenny Agutter from Logan's Run.
That's fantastic. Ah, man.
And then later she's in American Werewolf in London, so even better.
Yep. My grandfather loved Logan's Run, and my dad, and I used to watch it with them a bunch.
Yeah, it's a good classic.
Yeah. Also, which became relevant recently, Abbott and Costello. I don't have the image right now, but I don't follow baseball, but recently there was a Who on first base. Yeah, it was an Asian player whose name was H.U. Who.
Yeah, that's great.
It was wonderful. Anyway, if you were given the opportunity to assume any vocation, or take a job, join a specific group from any realm of fiction, again, like movie, TV show, cartoon, comic book, whatever you want, what would you choose?
Well, I'd have to go with what I already am, which is an Istari wizard from Middle Earth. So
I can see it. I can totally see it. Maybe you could be like not to just be too obvious in the moment, but you could be the Green Wizard.
Yeah, there you go. I'm the one they never talked about.
Yeah, there you go. That's great. And then is there like a job or a group that you would never want to do or belong to?
Yeah, this is a D&D reference. I would never want to be an Otyugh Wrangler. Ooh. The Otyughs were creatures that lived in filth, basically, in the sewers, among human filth. And sometimes people who kept dungeons would basically feed all the offal and filth to an Otyugh to keep it there.
Okay.
Yeah, nasty, nasty things.
That, yeah, I could definitely see
And
that.
I'm thinking in my head from the old AD&D, the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons,
Oof.
the original illustration was just this thing with little flies all around it and stuff.
Now I gotta
And it was
see if we
actually
can find a.
inspired, allegedly, by the trash compactor creature from Star Wars.
Ah, okay.
Except you
That's
could see the full thing. You can't. And we only saw it eye stalk in Star Wars, but this was more of, well, what if you could see the whole thing?
interesting. I found an image from D&D Beyond. Let me see if I can share
That's
it.
probably the newer one. They look a little meaner now, but they were all kind of goofy in the original, which in a way kind of made them more like something you didn't want to run into.
I can definitely see it being the trash compactor, part of the trash compactor monster, though, with the tentacles there.
Yep. There you go.
Yep, I can. Yeah, I agree with you. I would not want to be a keeper for one of these things.
Nope. Because you basically have to shovel shit.
Quite literally. Okay, and then is there any portrayal from any form of fiction, mythology, book, video game, anything that you of the afterlife or what happens to somebody when they die that you would hope to be true for you when it's your time?
This is a tough one. Obviously, being a Force ghost is kind of cool if you were a Jedi. But I got to say, I always liked in Tolkien's The Silmarillion, the deeper back lore, when he talks about the gift of Iluvatar to men was death. They came to fear it because the Dark Lord perverted their understanding of it. But the original idea was, unlike elves who they're mortal, but they live their entire lives within the realm of Arda, which was the subcreated realm that Middle-earth is part of. But men, when they die, leave the world for a greater purpose that they're unaware of. They don't know what it is, but the creator of the world, Iluvatar, made this for them.
Yeah.
And, so originally it was a gift. Now it's considered, something bad because they just don't understand it anymore.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I like that. And now I have to thank you, Light Blinded Fool. Now that song is going to be stuck in my head. I'm going to have to go listen to Hills of Tanchico like 100 times to make sure that doesn't stay in there for weeks. And I kind of also want to watch Highlander too a little bit.
I just had a long discussion with somebody with Highlander the other day.
That's fun. And now let's bring back in our other friend. Thank you for hanging out backstage for while we did our little interview there, Nikhil.
It was fun hearing all your answers, Bill.
I look forward to hearing yours.
Just as you said, cat purring is your favorite sound, my cat jumped in my lap. So,
oh, that's awesome.
What are your cat's names?
So the one who is the most rambunctious one is Pepper.
Okay.
And every time I let her in here, I have to be very careful because she loves climbing up all the acoustic panels in the back.
Gosh.
Just
Oh
very
my gosh.
quick in general. And then the other one is Waffle. And she's usually just kind of waffling around somewhere.
That's funny.
Lives up to the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're siblings, actually. So we got them from the same litter.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What about you, Bill?
Oh boy, we get a lot of cats here. Currently, there are 3 of them. There were more, but one is one of the largest cats I've ever seen. His name is Quasar, so he has pretty much the gravity of a quasar.
Perfect.
We've got Rory, who's one of the friendliest cats, and he was named after one of the companions on Doctor Who was just a big friendly guy.
Yeah,
a big friendly cat.
That's
and
awesome.
the newer one is Tombo. He was
Okay.
basically one who was out in the wild that my niece took in when he was much younger, and he's finally come around to really liking us and everything.
Yeah. Our executive producer, who is still kind of sitting off by himself in the corner, if I can bring back up the camera again for a second. The Luna cam. There he is. He's kind of he's still hanging out over in the corner by himself. That's Luna.
Yep.
He's my old man. He's 19.
Oh, geez.
And then I have Luther and Lanfear.
Oh.
Yeah, they're both black. Lanfear is definitely the daughter of Night, so we were trying to think of a name for her, and that was just, since we already had 2 L's, we were like, what's another L we can get? And Lanfear was just fit too perfectly to not use it. That was a lot of fun though. Thank you guys for hanging out.
Thanks for having us. So
no,
much.
Yeah.
you guys are like I know I say this a lot, but you guys are welcome literally whenever you want. If you ever want to come back for another episode of this, or when we do new episodes of things, which is another little announcement that we have. So we're coming up to episode 7, which is the second to last episode of the show that we're currently watching. The way we usually do this is next week we will unveil a poll that we'll put out on our social medias and we'll allow to run for the entire week, and then it'll end on like Saturday, Sunday, and then the final episode of whatever the show is we're watching, which for us will be April 21st for episode 8, we'll announce what the new show is. So one of the things that we started doing was having a movie night sometimes in between, like as a break for not jumping right into another full TV show right away. So we're going to do that again this time. So next week we will have our poll for what movies should we watch that we'll put up on social media. Social media only allows for 4 options in a poll. So one of the things, if you are a Patreon supporter, even in the free tier, you can assist on picking one of the choices in the 4 options on all of the polls that we do for our next either movie or show. So if that sounds like fun, go and check out our Patreon. And like I said, you can subscribe even for free and participate in the Patreon goodness. The Patreon website doesn't allow for a free tier because they want their money. But a way around that is like you could follow the Dragonmount Patreon for free without subscribing to like a membership. And I just kind of put a post up in the free area with that people could see that is the things that you get for being a free tier subscriber. So if you want to go and check that out, go check that out. And there's links in this video below on YouTube to Bill's Emperor of the Fading Suns game, which is now out on Steam, the enhanced version, the remastered version. What year did it come out?
The original came out in 1997.
It's freaking awesome. I love those old school strategy games. Strategy games are the RTS real-time strategy games are my favorite. I was telling Bill earlier, I like a month or two ago, I recently replayed all of Warcraft.
Oh, nice.
Not World of Warcraft, Warcraft period, the first one.
I have very fond memories of those.
Yes, so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check that out. And then obviously Nikhil, I love everything that you do, all of the music that you're doing. We showed last time you composed the song for the Chinese New Year event over on League of Legends. So there's a video game installment there, constantly doing stuff for movies. So make sure to follow Nikhil over on all his social medias, which you could find in the links that are in the description of this video. Where I know, Bill, you're going to be at JordanCon. So anyone who's watching that's going to be at JordanCon, you can go and see Bill at JordanCon. Just be, nice. Don't just go running up to him and fangirling all over the place. You have to be cordial and respectful. But, he does have a glorious beard, so I understand. But where can everyone see you guys? Like, what are you guys doing next where people can find your stuff?
Bill? Well, I was gonna say I'm working on a couple games right now. So they're a little bit early to announce, but one is like a Japanese anime inspired game, and then one is like a first person hack and slash RPG. It's actually very influenced by both The Dark Tower by Stephen King and The Cosmere by Brandon Sanderson. So
wow,
yeah, quite a mashup.
I think you'll find a few fans of that here.
Yeah, I imagine so.
So we'll have to keep an eye on your social medias for that.
Totally. Yeah.
What about you, Bill?
Well, I mean, I'm still working on Fading Suns. We're doing some stuff. We haven't been announced with it yet, but we'll do that as soon as we'll roll out announcements as soon as we can. But in the meantime, like I said, there's a sale on the existing digital books right now you can go up to. You can go to my website at bill-bridges.com to keep up with what I'm doing or any of the social media. You can find me all over the place, Blue Sky, Facebook. And like I said, JordanCon, I'll be there in person. I'll also be at DragonCon.
Ooh.
And over the summer. So
that's fun. You doing some paneling at DragonCon?
Yep. I usually do panels on some of the horror, some of the game writing panels also.
Makes sense. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. And I would usually at this point say goodnight, Crystal, but let's say goodnight, Bill.
Good night.